Hey friends, Tim Scher here, author of the books Get Out of Your Way and One Belief Away. And today our masterclass is on how to shift from anxious to resilient in 60 seconds flat. So I'm going to show you a really powerful strategy that you can use that'll help you to turn a bad day into a better day. That'll help you shift from that high pressure stress or worry or whatever's going on that's tightening you up inside, and how to shift into a feeling of calm, into a feeling of confidence, so that you feel resourceful, so that it doesn't matter what shows up. What matters is how you show up, and you'll know how to show up feeling calm and in charge in any situation or circumstance by getting yourself into a more powerful, resourceful state. And this two-step process is easy to do, and it works. So anxiety is that knot in the stomach, that horrible feeling that we have that makes us feel like we're not safe, that something's wrong, right? So all stress is really coming from fear. And we might not think I'm afraid right now, I'm just stressed, I'm under pressure. But what is the pressure? What is the stress? Well, it's usually some kind of fear that we're not going to hit a deadline, or that something's not going to work out, or that someone's going to drop the ball, or that we're not going to get the job, the promotion, the date, the whatever it is, right? It's that feeling that somehow we're not going to be safe, or things aren't going to go the way that we want. And then what would happen then? And then we have all these other worries and fears that come up inside. And so the fastest way to get control of that fight or flight response, of that panic response that happens, is by using your breathing. That's step one. We're going to start with power breathing. Before you try to shift what you're focusing on, or how you're imagining things, or your self-talk, before you start to do any of that, you've got to get into a more calm state of mind. Otherwise, you'll just be arguing with yourself. You'll be like, oh, this isn't working, and I'm wasting my time, and I'm fooling myself. I'm not being practical or realistic. But being practical and realistic means you should use the power that you have inside of you to make yourself feel better, so that you're not scaring yourself, you're preparing yourself. That's logical. That's practical. Wasting a bunch of time and energy and emotion by misusing your imagination, that's not practical. So if you want to get practical and be logical and be more productive, then we've got to learn to slow down. I live in Indianapolis, and we have the Indy 500, and these $1 million race cars are built for speed. They're built to go around that track and win races. But if they don't take the pit stop, they don't finish the race. The pit stops are just as important as zipping around that track. So if you're a high-performing human being, an achiever, then you've got to learn to take the pit stops as well as driving forward. If you're only driving forward and you're not taking the pit stops, then it's going to be very hard to finish the race or to keep on winning at a high level. So the most productive, wisest people have learned that getting good sleep and taking pit stops, that's not a luxury, that is a necessity if you're going to continue achieving at the highest level. So we always start with our breath work, with our power breaths. Now, most people, when they think of taking a deep breath in, they open their mouth and they go, oh, and that is the wrong way to do it. Okay, taking a few deep breaths through your mouth will actually cause you to hyperventilate. It does not trigger the relaxation response. We want to activate the relaxation response. The way that you do that is by breathing in through your nose. Breathe down to your belly, not upper chest, but down to your abdomen. You might want to take your hand, put it over your belly button, breathe down to your belly like you're filling a balloon up in your stomach. You breathe in through your nose. So when you breathe in, your belly goes out, not your shoulders going up. So your belly goes out, and then when you exhale, exhale slowly through your mouth at first. And then after you do this a couple of times, start exhaling through your nose, because it forces you to slow down when you breathe out. We want to breathe in, and then we want to exhale slower. So you're breathing in, and then you're slowly exhaling, like you're letting the air out of that balloon. Do that 5 times in a row. When you breathe in through your nose, down to your belly, and you slowly exhale, and you do that 5 times in a row, it activates your relaxation response, your brain's natural ability to feel calm, resourceful, and in control. It won't matter where you're at, what you're doing, what's going on, who you're with. You will start to feel more calm and at ease, because it's just how your brain is wired. So we want to use the power of your brain because it is extraordinary. So let's use it to your advantage. So when you're power breathing, and you're breathing in and slowly exhaling, you're actually giving your brain a little drip of dopamine and serotonin, which is what antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications are designed to do. They influence those two major hormones in your body and in your brain, right? Dopamine and serotonin. They influence mood. And so you can give yourself a little hit of dopamine or endorphins or serotonin just by doing your power breathing. In fact, if you do this two-step exercise, you really won't be needing any anti-anything medication because this will help you feel more peaceful naturally. So you breathe in through your nose, down to your belly, you slowly exhale. A couple of little mind hacks to make this work even more effectively. You can look up to the ceiling while you're breathing in. When you look up, it quiets the voice in your mind. You look up, it makes you go visual instead of auditory digital. Auditory digital means you're talking to yourself in your head. When people look down, usually that's what we do when we're stressed, we're looking down. When people are looking down, they're talking to themselves and then they're feeling their feelings. When you look down, you really feel your feelings. But when you look up, it causes you to go visual instead of kinesthetic. So what that means is that when you look up, you're not connecting to your feelings, you're disconnecting from them. Instead of really feeling the stress, you're actually feeling a sense of peace. In fact, if you want to play with this, look up at the ceiling for a few moments and try to get stressed. When we look up and we try to get stressed, it's kind of like, I'm not quite getting there. I mean, I can think about this stuff, but I'm not really feeling it. It's hard to connect with it. If you look down at the ground, you'll connect right away because you've gone kinesthetic, right? So just understanding how your brain works, you can use it and shift into different states just by where you're using your eyes. If you ever heard of EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, it's that post-traumatic therapy that people go to if they've had stress or if they're in therapy or if they've been through traumatic experiences, and people are having you watch their fingers and move up and down and back and forth, or a light. What they're doing is they're getting you to reset just by how you move your eyes, which is pretty amazing. So you can look up. The other thing you can do is count to 5 while you're breathing in and breathing out. So you breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you exhale and count slower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So if you're breathing and counting, you can't really be telling yourself that stressful story of why you're all wound up, because you're counting and breathing. Try to count and breathe and then tell yourself a different story at the same time. You can't do it, right? So when you're counting and breathing, you're focusing your mind. That's what meditation is all about. When you're focusing on a candle or a sound or a mantra, which is just an affirmation that you repeat over and over again, you are focusing your mind on that particular thing that you're looking at or saying, or that you're a feeling that you're focusing on. If you focus on something, it lets everything else fade away. So we can do that with our breathing and with our counting. Now, if you combine all three, where you're doing your power breathing, looking up, and counting to 5, within a minute or two, you'll feel like you literally just reached into your own brain and pushed the mindset reset button, because you will feel a shift in how you feel, and you don't have to talk yourself into it. You've activated your brain's relaxation response, and you will feel better. Now that you got yourself into a resourceful state, which takes about a minute or 2, then you ask yourself a power question. That's step 2. The power question focuses your mind on what you want to have happen. What you focus on expands. What you think about comes about. Whatever you focus on, most of the time, your life becomes. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on the desired outcomes that we want. We imagine things going well. We imagine that no matter what situation we're in, that we're going to end up stronger, better, more resourceful. We're kind of like a cat. You throw a cat in the air, it always lands on its feet. We're going to land on our feet no matter what the situation, no matter how dire it might appear. We are going to land on our feet and everything's going to be okay, because we're being encouraging of ourselves. We're being supportive of ourselves. We're not sitting there scaring ourselves and making ourselves feel bad for not knowing exactly how to handle the situation. We can say, even if I'm not sure how to handle the situation, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of others or my team or my family, and we're going to get through this and we're going to be okay. Because you're creating hope, and hope is a very empowering feeling. It can help you to pay attention to what solutions are available to you. If we're not using hope and we're scaring ourselves or being mad and being angry or going into self-pity or going into fear or breaking down and flipping out, hiding, all of that causes us to focus on the problems, the what ifs, and all the worst case scenarios that could happen. That's where the stress comes from, right? If we're focusing on it's not going to work out and we're going to run out of time, we're going to run out of money, we're going to close down, we're going to end up in a divorce, we're going to die, or whatever the fear is, whatever you focus on, you're going to intensify that fear. Imagine you've got a garden, you've got flowers and weeds, and you're watering something. Are you watering the flowers or are you watering the weeds? Because whatever you water, you're going to grow and you're going to have more of them. Too many people are watering the weeds in their life, complaining because they have so many of them. Well, instead of watering them, let's focus on watering the flowers. Asking power questions will help you do that. When you ask power questions, you're focusing your mind on the outcomes that you want. Power question examples include, what is my outcome? What do I want to have happen? How do I want this to go? What resources do I have? What is working? What can go better? What tools do I have? Who can I lean on for support? How do I want to feel right now? What's one way that I could feel that way that would actually leave me feeling proud of myself afterwards? Now, what I mean by that is, what's one way I can feel better? I could do some cocaine. I could eat some sugar. I could smoke some cigarettes. I could do some chew. I could go gambling. I could go have an affair. All of that will end up causing more pain. Humans have a horrible problem of trying to avoid pain by creating more pain, right? So when you say, what could I do that would help me feel better, that would also make me feel proud of myself afterwards? Well, then you say, I could go for a walk. I could play with the dog. I could play with my kids. I could call my spouse. I could compliment some people. I could take a 26-minute nap. Harvard research just came out with an article saying that if you take a 26-minute nap in the afternoon, it improves your brain performance by 34%. That's huge, right? So you can listen to a hypnosis program to supercharge your success. And I've got plenty of those programs at indiehypnosis.com. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can use your power breathing and ask yourself a power question, and that will help you feel more resourceful and in control. Right? So when you ask yourself power questions, your brain will give you powerful answers. If you ask yourself lousy questions like, whose fault is this? And why don't things ever work out for me? And why'd I have to screw up that one time? And why this? Why me? Why now? Why are my parents awful? Why, is my spouse always disappointed or yelling at me? Why is my boss always hovering over me or not paying any attention to me or not appreciating me? How come I never have enough time to get the stuff done that I want to get done? All those worries, all those what ifs, they cause us to get either angry or go into self-pity, and neither one of those are empowering. They just hold us back. They don't allow us to show up and shine in the way that we could. So when you ask a power question, you get more powerful answers from your mind. Why don't things ever work out for me is going to get, because you're a loser, you don't deserve it, right? If you say, how can I get things to work out for me? Well, you could try this or do this or do this or do this, right? The power of your questions determine the quality of your life. So we want to ask power questions. So when you combine those two strategies, you take some power breaths and then you ask yourself a power question or a couple of power questions and then take action on it. Whatever insights you get, start taking action on it. You're going to get some wonderful insights that come to your mind. You want to put that into action. Because when you do, you're going to find yourself having tremendous breakthroughs. Now, if you're still struggling with anxiety, that's because you have beliefs that were formed probably when you were a kid that are causing you to feel insecure or not enough, or they just mess with your money, your relationships, your health, your self-confidence. Those are the 4 areas where it influences us the most. And the fastest way to upgrade those unconscious beliefs are by going through my awakening experiences. I've taken tens of thousands of people through those experiences. They're life-changing. It can start to transform your life in the first 30 minutes. It's not like therapy or counseling that could take months or years. You start to get results immediately because you're going right to the source of the issue and you're upgrading those beliefs. We've all been through big T and little t traumas, and it's not the experiences, it's the beliefs that come from those experiences. The belief like I'm good enough or I'm not good enough, I'm safe or I'm not safe. I can figure things out, or I'm not smart enough to figure this out. Those beliefs will heavily influence what you pay attention to and how you show up in your life. So many people have so much talent and value and so much to offer, but we hold ourselves back because of fear or lack of confidence. So I have an amazing program. I have my coaching that I do. So if you really want to supercharge your results, reach out to my office, and we will do some power coaching sessions, and that'll transform your life faster than anything else you could possibly do. However, this audio program, I recorded everything, so it brings the price way down. So if budget is an issue for you right now, then use this program, and then budget won't be an issue for you anymore because it'll help you shift from a scarcity to a prosperity mindset pretty fast. So anyway, if you go to www.happyandsuccessful.me, that's www.happyandsuccessful.me, then you will be able to go and learn more about the Awakening program. It will truly transform your life. If it doesn't, get your money back. There's a full happiness guarantee refund there, but nobody ever uses it because it's amazing. This program is amazing. It'll change your life. So you can also reach out to me, tim@timshire.com, if you have any questions. So anyway, I hope these 2 tips work. Use the power breathing and then the power questions, and then take action on the insights that you get from those power questions. And within a couple of minutes, you will have shifted from anxious to resilient and resourceful. Use these tools and continue joining me every Wednesday live here on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. And we will continue to show you how to use the power of your mind to create your life by design so that you can make the rest of your life the best of your life. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next time.